Hallo meine lieben Freunde, herzlich willkommen zu Gaming Dragon und zum mittlerweile fast schon 30. Part von Sherlock Holmes Crimes and Punishment. Und im letzten Part haben wir uns diese seltsame Verbindung angesehen und sind drauf gekommen, wir landen mitten in einer Drogenküche. Ja, mitten in der Drogenküche, das ist nicht gut und deshalb untersuchen wir jetzt weiter diesen sehr mysteriösen, mittlerweile schon doch sehr mysteriösen Fall. Aber bevor wir in die Baker Street gehen und dieses Ding ansehen, reden wir nochmal mit dem Guru.
Do you have friends at Kew Gardens?
None. Not worthy there.
Nevertheless, we have seen Kew Gardens flower pots in your yard. How could they happen to be there?
What? Our sacred place you permitted yourself to search? Sacrilege.
No, really now. There was a theft of plants at Kew Gardens a matter of days ago, and we believe the pots we found here may be connected with it. Please tell us, were you involved?
No. Those plants were ours. They had stolen them from us.
How so?
Their director, Dump, I believe.
Done.
Yes, that's what I said. He borrowed from us 3 of our sisters for the exhibition at his greenfly-infested gardens. But he never gave them back to us. Excuses and imbecility. So we went in and saved them.
I see. So, if you stole those rare plants from them, then it means... Ah, I get it. Bravo, Holmes. I think the case is solved.
No, we did not steal. We saved. Well, as a matter of fact, we were unable to find our 3 plants.
I beg your pardon. And yet you took all of the exotic plants from the stand.
They had disappeared. It was the least we could do. They stole our sisters, and so we stole theirs.
Well, we will leave you to your meditation.
Bringt uns nun nicht irgendwie weiter. Die göttliche Gesellschaft hat tödliche Pflanzen gestohlen. Ja, das wissen wir mittlerweile. Die göttliche Gesellschaft stahl alle Pflanzen, auch die tödlichen. Sie konnten sie entgegengesetzt haben, um Monticotan zu ermorden. Die göttliche Gesellschaft stahl nach der Ausstellung alle Pflanzen bis auf die tödlichen. Das kann ich noch nicht sagen, weil ich es rausfinden muss. Was ich da gefunden habe. Ich muss mir das mal angucken. In der Baker Street. Ob die tödlichen Pflanzen dabei waren oder nicht.
I imagine that one of these plants would be capable of releasing a toxic vapor. I need to find out exactly how it could be done. I shall begin now. Watson, if you are at all optimistic to have dinner this evening, then I'd recommend that you put on the gas mask. I find the behavior of predators utterly fascinating. This plant becomes inactive after being drenched with alkaloid. How interesting. What a strong and effective defensive mechanism. This plant becomes inactive after being drenched with alkaloid. It appears to open after being soaked with alkaloid.
Probieren wir es nochmal.
It closed again. I believe I saw a small cloud of gas. I wonder what secrets this plant is hiding. Perhaps if we agitate it to a greater extent whilst it is opened, it will reveal a little more. I am interested in what might occur if the prickly plant should shoot at it. It appears to open after being soaked with alkaloid. It closed again. I believe I saw a small cloud of gas. I wonder what secrets this plant is hiding. Perhaps if we agitate it to a greater extent whilst it is opened, it will reveal a little more. I am interested in what might occur if the prickly plant should shoot at it.
Was kann ich noch nutzen?
This is a strange and unusual plant. A carnivorous plant. A prickly plant. It appears to open after being soaked with alkaloid. My word! It shot a spike at me after I stabbed it with a pin. I imagined that its reaction would be ferocious if I increased the strength of my attack. This plant seems to have had no reaction from the caterpillars. It closed again. I believe I saw a small cloud of gas. I wonder what secrets this plant is hiding.
Ah, ich glaube, ich habe
Perhaps
die
if we
Lösung.
agitate it to a greater extent whilst it is opened, it will reveal a little more. I am interested in what might occur if the prickly plant should shoot at it.
Tauschen diese mal aus. So, öffnen wir es mal mit Alkaloid.
It appears to open after being soaked with alkaloid.
So.
Toxic gas with spores. Extraordinary. The plants would be capable of killing only if they were directly next to the victim and stimulated at precisely the right moment.
Let us take our caterpillars to the Colonial Collection Room. We may see things more clearly there.
It is too early, Watson. Our suspects will be there. Let us investigate Kew Gardens one more time and ask some questions.
Okay, also. Die Sekte stahl alles. Also wir haben auch eine tödliche gefunden. Die Pflanzen in Kew Gardens. So sieht's momentan aus. Aber ich bin mir ziemlich sicher, dass das noch nicht so die Falllösung ist. Auch wenn sie sich jetzt mal so darstellt. Ich bin mir ziemlich sicher, dass es mehrere Möglichkeiten gibt. So, wir sind wieder da und stellen unangenehme Fragen.
Can you tell me if you saw Mr. Montague Dunn on the day of his death?
Yes, of course. I met him, and we went to see Albert, his son, at around 9:30. He appeared quite calm.
What were you doing on the morning of the accident?
After paying multiple visits to Albert, I had a little talk with Miss White. Then I returned to my desk to complete some paperwork. Suddenly I observed that Mr. Dunn was not feeling well, so I ran immediately to fetch Albert. I clearly remember that it was around 10:30, for I was late that morning.
Thank you, Mr. Hamish. We shall continue our investigation. Your father's death does seem highly suspicious. What were your movements here on that day?
Suspicious? Well, I was working in the seed house, taking care of Lysa... something, or Lear... Pontus, or... No, wait. Ah, these Latin names. and I spent so many hours trying to memorize them.
Did you see your father that day?
Yes, he came here with Mr. Hamish for his weekly visit. There was nothing unusual about that.
And then?
Nothing. They stepped out to the backyard. It was perhaps 20 minutes before 10 o'clock. Then about 10 minutes later, I saw my father heading for the dry tropics room while Mr. Hamish returned here.
And Mr. Hamish and Miss White, what were they both doing that morning?
Mr. Hamish visited me a couple of times. I also saw him returning from talking with Miss White, and that was at 10 minutes past 10. But then he ran back here to me to tell me that my father was feeling unwell. We hurried across to the water lily room, and I found my father lying dead on the floor. Oh my God.
Thank you, young man. We shall see you again soon.
So, Della, Miss White, komm her. Ich möchte mit dir reden.
Can you tell me what Mr. Dunn was doing upon the day of his death?
I can, but there is nothing very special to say. I was in the laboratory when I saw Mr. Dunn heading towards me. Tuesday is the day of his weekly visit. It was supposed to be at 9, but he was 10 minutes late, as usual.
And then?
Well, he came in to say good morning. Then I saw him spend 2 or 3 minutes by the plants outside the laboratory. After that, he ran out in the direction of the nursery, where Mr. Hamish was working. He was always in a rush during the inspection, you see. I would pity anyone who stood in his way.
And that was the last time you saw him?
Yes. I stayed in the laboratory until 20 minutes to 11, when I heard the cries of Albert and Mr. Hamish from the large glass house. I joined them as soon as I could, for I knew that something must be very wrong.
What exactly were you doing in the laboratory?
I was recording an experiment for my thesis. I only stopped my work once when Mr. Hamish visited me briefly around 10 o'clock.
You say you were recording an experiment when the tragedy occurred. Might I listen to the roll?
Certainly. Please do. You will find it in the laboratory. It is number 320.
Thank you, miss.
Everyone has gone, Holmes. The way is clear.
When Montague Dunn was standing close by the plants, the caterpillars were released and caused the deadly spores to activate. Panicking, and likely already half asphyxiated, Montague Dunn started back and knocked over the bust. He rushed to the door, but it was locked. He had to force it open with his shoulder. We already know the outcome. Montague Dunn collapsed and died not far from the pool. Well, it is time to perform our experiment on the ventilation system. The caterpillars could only fall from the ventilation duct. Our caterpillars are in place. I'll activate the ventilation system so that they fall down. Watson, stay here and observe.
All right, Holmes.
Okay, wir werden aber noch ein bisschen weiter spielen, auch wenn die Zeit jetzt ein bisschen drückt. Ich möchte jetzt einfach mal
Dry Tropics.
dieses Ding noch lösen. So, das Intervention System ist da drüben. So.
The power is on. The engine cannot be started whilst the transmission is active. The engine has started. The ventilation system is working.
So. Mal zurück zu Dr. Watson. Wir sehen, ob unser Plan hier funktioniert hat.
Now we need to see if we can activate the fans from Mr. Hamish's and Albert's space.
Tja, aber ich glaube, das werden wir trotzdem erst im nächsten Part machen. Das heißt, wir sind schon ziemlich nah am Finale des 4. Falls. Und ja, ich verbleibe trotzdem jetzt mal mit dem und ja, ich schaue mit euch auf der mal ganz kurz auf meiner professorischen Endcard vorbei. Bis gleich. Hallo meine lieben Freunde, das war mal wieder ein Fall von Sherlock Holmes, Crimes and Punishment, beziehungsweise der weitergeführte Fall. Ich hoffe natürlich, euch hat es gefallen. Und ja, wie immer unten in der Videobeschreibung der Link zum lieben Lunk, mit dem ich die Elder Scrolls Online Let's Play. Dann natürlich der Link zu allen meinen Let's Plays, auch zu den abgeschlossenen Parts und natürlich... Wie kann ich es vergessen? Auch der Link auch wie gesagt, alles andere in der Videobeschreibung. Teilen, abonnieren, liken, ihr kennt das eh alles und ich verbleibe als euer Gaming Dragon mit dem heißen Fario für diesen Part.